Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. And of course, President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi attended the celebrations marking the 72nd anniversary of Police Day, which is observed every year on the 25th of January at the Police Academy Conference Complex in New Cairo. And of course, he addressed the attendees. Many points to cover in his speech, and we're delighted to be joined over the telephone by our guest, His Excellency Ambassador Gamal Baioumy, the former Assistant Foreign Minister. It's a very good evening to you, Mr. Ambassador.
Good evening, how are you?
Fine, thank you, sir, and thank you very much for joining us, Your Excellency. First and foremost, in your opinion, what are some of the most significant messages in today's speech by President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi to the nation?
As usual, he is covering all our interests. Anything it comes to our mind, it is there with a brief situation, telling us what is going on, telling us what is the best position Egypt can take. Also, I realized how our president was saluting the history of our police and our army.
Yes.
And our nationalist struggle. I lived those days when the incidents of Ismailia, where the British army tried to occupy the residence of Ismailia governorate, and that was really a brave battle between our police and the occupying British forces. By the way, I want to tell the new generation that in the early years of my life, I have witnessed a British camp in the middle of Tahrir Square, in the place of the Arab League and the Hilton Hotel, and it was a big camp where I saw British soldiers playing football in Tahrir Square. I hate those days, of course, and thanks to our army, thanks to our revolution, that we get rid of all of this history. So, also, the president is trying to show how we are united behind our leadership, behind our army, behind our police forces. And I have, do you have time? I tell you a small story about myself.
Yeah, sure, Mr. Ambassador, go ahead, sir.
In my early days, I was graduated and I was preparing myself to join the diplomatic corps in Egypt. I had a sort of struggle with a small soldier in the secret police. And I put him in trouble because I had the guts to phone the governor and told him my story. Next day, the chief of the secret police came to our place asking, where is Gamal Baioumy? I said, it's me. He said, you put me in trouble because this man did. Anyway, I explained to him what happened, and he gave me the right of what I did. Afterwards, I passed the exam of the Egyptian diplomacy, and look, this man, because he is asked about my secret file, he could stop my future at this point. No, he came congratulating my father that when the Egyptian Minister of Foreign Affairs is asking about Gamal Baioumy, it means that he succeeded in the exam. I salute this gentleman, Saad al-Shirbini. He became the governor of Batalia Mansoura. That is how really I feel about our police. And always, because I always, we are practicing public activities. We need the police everywhere. I never miss their help, and they are in time, in place, whenever you are asking for them.
Absolutely, Mr. Ambassador. And speaking about members of the police, we've seen the President honoring family members of the police martyrs in acknowledgement, of course, of their sacrifices. They've dedicated their lives, literally, to ensure the safety and security of Egyptian citizens. How do you see the recognition of the families of police martyrs, contributing to a sense of fostering gratitude, national unity, as well as emphasizing, collective appreciation for their loved ones sacrificed to the nation?
We owe them that. We owe them to salute their families and their children, and to tell them that the life of their fathers didn't go in vain. Of course, we have to celebrate the opportunity, and I think we are doing fine in this. We are lucky that we belong to a nation and people who are proud of their history. I have many things in our history where we can be proud all the time, especially our army who went to Jerusalem under the leadership of Salah ad-Din Baioumy to stop the Crusaders from invading Palestine. Our army was there. President Sisi told us once that there isn't a family in Egypt without a victim in the police or in the army for the sake of our national security or our brothers in Palestine and all the Arab world.
Absolutely. Your Excellency, in today's speech, President Sisi communicated strong optimism, regarding Egypt's ability to navigate global financial turbulence, backed by, of course, by the diligent work of its people and robust planning as well as strategic governance. How do you read this in light of the President's address today?
Very important, because really I consider myself, and many people consider me as an optimistic person. I am optimistic, not for a dream, but because of realities. We are the largest country in the whole Arab world. We are almost 1/3 of the Arab world. We are one of the largest Islamic countries. We are in the middle of everywhere with Suez Canal and Red Sea and Mediterranean. We have the largest army in the area. We have a very diversified economy. We produce services, we produce agriculture, we produce industrial goods. And what we have to do is to accelerate our process, accelerate our product, to face the challenge of the big birth rate in our country. I tell you a secret, don't tell anybody about it.
Yes, Mr.
That since 2011 up till now, we gave birth to 27 million children. This is double of the size of Greece, which is a very developed European economy. So we have to work for them. I am not talking about that we give birth much more than we need, but let us accept this fact, but on the other side, we have to work for them. This is the real challenge. And we can look at them from the positive point of view that we have 11 million Egyptians living abroad, many of them in Europe, 1.5 million in Europe, 4 million or more in the Gulf, and in the Americas, in Australia. Once I stopped my car in Vienna to have some repairs and so on, and the engineer asked me, from where are you? I said, from Egypt. He said, the best of our workers are coming from Egypt.
Right.
Once a Greek diplomat told me that 1/4 of the sailors on the Greek ships, civil ships, are coming from Egypt, especially from my city, Damietta, and Izbit al-Burg there. So we have very good reputation as a country, and what we need is to accelerate the process, to produce more, to cover our needs and to cover the needs of our new production of tourism.
Absolutely. Right, Your Excellency, Ambassador Gamal Baioumy, former Assistant Foreign Minister, I'd like to thank you very, very much, sir, for your time and your insight, for joining us on today's edition of the Daily Debate. Ladies and gentlemen, a short break, and we'll be back for our second segment of the show. Do stay tuned.